you probably know songs like these. All of these songs have what we call the anti-drop. Let's define an anti-drop. Similar to a drop, we once again often have a build-up right before the anti-drop as well. The big difference, however, is that instead of the anti-drop being the point of the highest energy, like it would be the case with a normal drop, we anti-drop into a much more minimalistic section, subverting expectations and surprising the listener. Why would we want an anti-drop? The key word to answering this question is tension. Whenever our brain expects a drop but doesn't get what it expects, it creates even more tension. In fact, a paper on the EEG exploration of excitement in music came to the conclusion that the results suggest that when more tension is being created because we didn't get the expected drop, strong positive emotions then ensue when expected deviations finally occur due to contrastive valence. This is exactly what we want. Last time we broke down groove. Well, anti-drops are driven by rhythm and groove as well, so making an anti-drop is a great way to practice your understanding of groove as well. Similar to the usual groovy tracks, a mid-tempo works great for anti-drops. However, the anti-drop can be utilized in many different styles and concepts, which would then dictate the BPM. Moreover, many songs utilize what we call halftime, seamlessly transforming between fast and slow. But what exactly is halftime? Well, let's quickly talk about drum patterns. We can find all the patterns that we showed you in the last video when it comes to anti-drops as well, so make sure to go and check that video out in case you missed it. But here's a quick recap. Additionally, we can find trap patterns. Songs that utilize these patterns usually sit around 140 BPM and utilize the mentioned halftime. Halftime means that we are essentially creating the illusion of the song slowing down without changing the BPM. To achieve this effect, instead of having the snare hit on the 2 and 4, like it would be the case with the 4 kick 2 snare or the 2 kick 2 snare pattern that we showed you last video, we now have the snare hitting on the 3 and the 6, or to be more precise, the 3 of the next bar. You could also look at this pattern as the 2 kick 2 snare pattern, but happening over 2 bars instead of 1. Another common technique is adding accenting snares right after the main snare hits. Also, while the main drum pattern gets slowed down, the hi-hats still stay in normal time, which makes them feel like they are in double time in comparison to the other half-time drums. Often, hi-hat rolls are being used to spice up the pattern. Add an 808 and a trappy melody and you got yourself the core of a trap beat. But that's for another video.
So far, in this and previous videos, we've spoken plenty about groove and choruses, and indeed both are vital for anti-drops, as those are usually, well, groovy choruses. However, in order to have an anti-drop which really pays off, a song needs to be set up in the right way. Songs are all about energy. However, a song cannot be explosive every single second. This is where the concept of tension and release comes into play. We build moments of unrest, of tension in a song, and then we set up the listener to expect a resolution. This is exactly what happens when we have a build-up followed by a drop. However, as the name suggests, things are different with antidrops. Instead of making the chorus the big resolution in which the energy of the song is at the highest, we do the exact opposite and throw a massive curveball towards the listener. Wouldn't then this mean that an antidrop would not be satisfactory? Well, it very well could if everything around the antidrop was not arranged properly. So let's take a look at how we set ourselves up for a perfect antidrop. Firstly, we need to be very careful with the amount of energy we build into a song. Add too much and the chorus would just feel boring. Pre-choruses are pretty typical and usually fuller than the verse and contain some sort of a build-up. Some might even be rather dramatic before they lead into a much more rhythmic antidrop chorus, which further helps set up contrast and ensure the chorus is intriguing despite not being explosive. Sometimes it is a smarter choice to stay away from adding a kick from the pre-chorus and save it for the chorus to give the antidrop a little bit more punch compared to the section before. So far so good. But how do you make the antidrop section, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple actually, and really that's the point, as less is more when it comes to antidrops. More often we just have very minimal drums, bass and vocals which are often light and airy. Sometimes the vocals are also layered with whispers. However, the listener would still want some sort of a resolution, which is why a lot of antidrops are usually followed by a much fuller B chorus. This way you get the best of both worlds, the twist and then the resolution. So what about the energy of the whole song? Well, usually you want your chorus to be high energy. However, you want the culmination of the song to be the highest energy. That's usually the final chorus, which is towards or right at the end of a song. So how exactly do you achieve that with an antidrop chorus? Well, you can use the antidrop, but change the arrangement slightly so that it is now a build-up, making what follows even more explosive. Or you could have the antidrop top line, but on top of a much fuller instrumental. Or you could skip the chorus altogether and have a dance break, outro kind of section, which ups the energy to the max. Bonus points for memorability here, as the top line and many of the other elements are the same as the intro. Make 'em whistle like a missile. We pa-down, pa-down, pa-down. Make 'em whistle like a missile. Boom, boom. Or sometimes multiple ideas are combined. For example, having a dance break, and after that it is followed by a final chorus. However, that final chorus is on top of the dance break instrumental. It really makes you feel like we're going out with a bang. And sometimes, instead of having a final chorus, we have an epic outro. What are your favorite antidrop songs? And what do you think makes a good antidrop? Please let us know in the comments. Thank you for being with us, and please like and subscribe for more K-pop breakdowns. And stay tuned because we're coming up with something a bit different next time.